All right, welcome to the Aftershow. 10-15 minutes of Aftershow chat if we got anything going on. Does Milt want to come in here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
He's always in here.
He's always in here. Sometimes he doesn't want to come in, sometimes he does. He just kind of chills. So we'll bring our number one fan into the show. Is muted. Unmuted. What's up, Milt? What's going on this week? He wasn't ready.
I'm ready.
Well, I said hello, man. What's up?
Not much.
What did you think about the Confessor video today?
Well,
hold on a second. I gotta mute you. I think your mic is very, very staticky today. There's some feedback to it.
Really cracky.
It's crackly. Make some adjustments to it.
Me?
It's staticky, yes. I don't know why. Is it facing north rather than east?
Definitely not.
Okay, you sound a little bit. You sound a little bit better. So, what'd you think of the video?
From an artist point of view, I gotta say it's a lot more fluid than I thought.
Yep, we thought the animations were very good too.
Yeah, most definitely. Just looking at the animations, they look clean. The beginning, like I said, the pre-alpha stuff, the pre-alpha footage. That game was actually that game. I call it that game because that game was hard to buy into back then. I didn't like it that much, and I was really like, obviously it was pre-alpha. They're still developing. I was like, God, I really hope this wasn't what the game was going to look like. So to see that and then now, it's like a night and day difference, and I 100% support it. I'm excited to see other skills, and I personally really want to see these combinations, right? So like Hellfire, A through whatever, and then B through whatever. I want to see those combinations in action because I think they're going to look really good.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the movement of Absolution, like it was like boom, and it happened, and you saw the reaction with the effects about halfway through the animation, and there wasn't too much of a delay, and you really, I mean, I'm not playing it, I'm not pressing the buttons, but sometimes you can easily tell sometimes when you're watching the game that the reaction and the feel to a thing is just out of sync, and I think they had it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely pleasing to the eye, smooth, crisp.
Yep.
And I'm actually really happy that they're like we talked about it all the time, but they were doing all this in a grayed out area. So the map itself is nothing. It's special. Mm-hmm. It's just a map that's a gray box where you are testing the actual thing that's going to make people want to play this game. So
here's one thing I wanted to bring up on the show. Is they talked about how the third combo of your primary attack is you got a V-shaped fireballs. You shoot out 3 of them in a fork, whatever you want to call it. They said that they were toying around with testing it, whether it's 3 fireballs in the same trajectory, boom, 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 in the same line. What do you think would you would like the best from looking at that video?
So there's a plus and minus to each of those. For the most part, the 3 shooting out, you have a little harder time of making use of each of those fireballs. But in a larger scale battle, obviously they're going to hit something, so being able to stack on as many people as possible, the send stacks, and then being able to absolution, you do more DPS to multiple people, but the 3 in a row...
You can still spin as you hit the 3 and kind of spit them out, like you're like, boom, 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 boom. You know, you hit them out, maybe you could do something like that.
So the rapid fire thing is going to be more single target DPS based, in my opinion, because you can land out maximum amount of sin stacks and then just start doing a lot of damage that way. I guess my big question towards sin stack is there going to be a cap on the amount of sin that you can put onto somebody? Because they said, I think the only thing they talked about cap so far was with the absolution, and if you get 5 stacks on somebody, you actually CC them. So
do you cleanse
all of them,
sin, or just 5 out of 10?
5.
Yeah.
Like those are questions that would start to get like. So what if you have?
See, Thomas just said sin stacks forever in chat.
Okay, so congratulations! I just figured out my build. You guys ready? I'm gonna go into the battlefield with 100 confessors. We're gonna stack sin on everybody get
But
100
what
within a
if
minute.
just one
and
absolution takes all the stacks away?
It does and kills them.
But that,
Because you-
I thought there was
or-
a cap on how many of the stacks actually affect damage.
Well, okay, so the fireball, right? Was it the condemnation? It does more damage based off of how many stacks you have on
they
somebody.
can cap that though.
But did they?
I don't know. Caps. There's caps. Thomas just said there's caps.
Okay, good. Now that that's clarified.
There. Throw out the build that you already had in your mind. See, it caps at 5. You even said, I think, it caps at 5.
Well, it just said that for Absolution, that it's a stack of 5. So obviously now my theory crafting and build doesn't work. So
Son of a bitch.
oh well, it caps at 5 for damage on Absolution. So it doesn't cap maybe for condemnation.
Until you break it in alpha, it won't stack, and then be like, oh shit, we need to cap it. Then it becomes capped in alpha next week.
We'll see. I
Get
want
ready
them to
for it.
test that, right? Put
Get ready for it.
one dummy out there, and then everybody run a confessor, and everyone just auto it once, and then let someone go up there and condemnation this thing and see if it kills flamethrower, and then if it blows up, you know that it's broken.
I want to know how many dashes you can do in a row before you run out of stamina on your right click.
Hold on, I'm reading what Thomas said. Anything over 5 might as well be 5 on Abso. Okay, so maybe what you really want to build up to 5 to be able to use Absolution to get the CC, so then you can kind of build up your damage. Maybe that's what you're going with there.
Who knows? We'll see how it plays out. I think they have to play with a larger environment to see what actually works in real life.
Invite me, bro. I'll help you out.
Let's do this. He says, I get annoyed when somebody absolves away all the sin and I'm casting condemnation.
Yeah.
So you
I
get
can
rid of
see
all
that
of it.
too.
So that's a detriment to 5 sin group. Or
Yeah.
a 5 confessor group.
So what if you just tell nobody the only skills you use is your auto attack and condemnation?
You got a condemnation guy that just pumps out condemnation, and then you got the other guys that just stack sin. There you go. There's your strat.
Or your front line is the all condemnation casters, right? They're using Hellfire Beast, so they get the shield, they do the damage, they use their mobility to CC immunity to run in there.
Dude, they're just
while
the
everyone else-
plate-wearing confessors that go in there just stacking sin. You don't do
Right.
a lot of damage,
No,
but you survive, and then you got
they're
the
the
damage deal on the
flamethrowers.
back.
No, they're the flamethrowers.
Sure.
Your front line are the flamethrowers.
You're
They're running
stacking
there with
sin.
And the other guys are stacking the sin. While the flamethrowers are just walking around blasting everybody.
No, you want the flamethrower
Instant
dude
death.
stacking. What does he? I don't think it actually stacks it. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Right,
I completely
that's
got
why-
it twist up in my brain.
That's why I'm
Sorry
the
about
shot
that.
caller.
There you go. You just tell me what to do.
I'm just
Wait,
kidding. But
Keegan's in the lobby right now. Did we bring him in? Milt,
We
is
bring him in.
your mic still broken? Did you fix your setting there? Let's test it
I
out.
just lowered the sensitivity,
No,
and you said
no.
it would.
Nope, not working. You're crackling, brother. You're crackling. You changed something since last week. You're crackling, my friend. Fix that up. We're going to bring Keagan in here, because I called him out. What's up, brother?
Hello. Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing good, as you've seen for the last hour. We're doing okay.
Man, you guys took forever to get to the best part of the show, and that was the confessor.
Well, we got to save the best for. You got to watch the whole show. We need those ratings, man. Come on.
I was ready to jump in 10 minutes into and just like an hour-long confessor.
Why didn't you just log in during the show? We'll bring you in during the actual show if you actually come in and say, "Hey, I want to talk about what you're talking about right now." It's like a
I
call-in
only
show.
wanted the confessor. I only wanted the confessor.
Then why
That was
didn't
like
you
the last
call
5
in
minutes.
the last 5 minutes? We would have extended it. Jesus Christ, Lakes, we can't hear what you're saying. You're talking to somebody that we don't know who you're talking to. He's on TeamSpeak with LOTD, I bet. But yeah, man, the way the show works, if you want to call in on a topic, just call in. Even if we're like, we mentioned the confessor part, call in at the beginning of the show. We would have talked about it. We'd rather interact with viewers out of topic than anything else.
yo,
So-
can you hear me?
Now we
Oh,
can
yeah,
hear
yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
All right. You could hear me beforehand, though, Keegan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dragon couldn't, because, anyways, it's some kind of admin thing with Skype. Um,
Probably.
So I really hope that they just, like, all of a sudden think the confessor's the worst idea ever and take it away from you, bro. Like, is that the only thing you want to play?
You know, I kind of hate you right now.
I bet you do.
No, obviously. I'm one of those types that want to play a lot of things. I actually wanted the extra slots to train more things because I want to play lots of roles. So I really hope I'm not limited in the game. That I just the confessor for 4 months. I don't want to be that.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, the one thing I want to talk about is everything was cool. I love the build ideas you're talking about. That's all fun, like theory crafting and jumping into the game and kind of picturing it in our imagination finally. But the one thing that kind of reassured how much it looks like I like it a lot more is that little jump, that what do they call it, the blink ability?
No,
right click.
Nope, the right click.
Zealot's
Yeah.
Rush. Is that Zealot's Rush?
Zealot Rush. That's what it
Yes.
is. That thing made it so cool because you're no longer just hovering in the back, just casting from the fringes.
You're in and out, man.
I love the ability that you can jump in and just pump out a ton of stuff, because we also didn't see the other half of stuff, like the aura and all the other explosions and little timed effects that they're allowing, that they're obviously teasing us with. But to have that one little thing, just that one ability alone, makes you in the mix. Obviously squishy, but who cares? It's just the fact that I can be all up in the mix and then blink out or roll out or who knows what else.
Dude,
that
it's
one
that
little thing changed everything. I love it.
It's what that thing I talked about when I talked about what I'm wanting from this game is the ability to outplay other people in Zealot's Rush. And
It's the mobility,
Immolation
man. It allows you to do
are going to
that.
be some of those things that allow you to outplay somebody, and that makes up for a large skill gap, right? Being able to use your Zealot's Rush and your Immolation at the right times, combination with maybe some of your CC and your Hellfire combination, and which kind of combo you want to go, whether it's going to be A or B. Like, that stuff is so freaking awesome, and it allows for gameplay, split decisions, reaction time to dodge something and then outplay somebody. Like, that is what it's all about. That's what I want this game to be. Like, I want it to be rewarding. One, I'm streaming this game, I Zealot's Rush somebody's big attack, I kill them, I take my headphones off, and I just walk away. And then I come back and I just yell, "See ya, nerd!"
Roar.
Like, that's
Oh
what
god,
I
that Brooklyn
want.
mic.
You got to feel. It's got to feel good when you do something. Like, you know, that you don't feel good in normal MMO PV because you just tab target, you press a bunch of buttons, and like stuff happens.
Exactly, and that's like, you don't really outplay in tab targeting. Like, you can, but it's like, dude, I have a feeling that if this game delivers, bro, I'm gonna sit there behind my computer screen and just nerd rage out, because I'm gonna be like, fuck, I got outplayed, or I just crushed this kid. Like, I'm gonna have so much fun.
No, the fun to all these games, just like games like FPSs or League of Legends or Dota 2 or whatever you play, is a Twitch factor. It's like, I just fucking did shit because I have like 8 ping and I just fucked you over because I know how to play this game, and you're like, I'm on a different level, and I can make some highlight reels on YouTube now showing you that you're terrible. So makes everybody feel good, because not only do you feel good for pulling it off, not only do you feel bad when it happens to you, but respect the dudes that do it to you. It allows people to make really cool videos and share those outplays on the internet, which what I think a lot of people dig. I mean, like, how many times on Reddit do you see on the front page of League of Legends, look at this really cool play a pro pulled off, look at this really cool play from solo queue, look at this really cool play. How many of those do you see for WoW Arena anywhere on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing.
I feel like this game is going to give you the opportunity, like, give you those trick 2G reactions, right? Like, when he just sits there and just starts freaking out and cussing, like, it's the most...
It's
like,
hilarious.
I laugh so hard when that guy streams, because he outplays people, and it's not like he's like this god player. He's not, by any means. But it's just like, he can outplay people, and it's fun, and that's what brings competitive spirit to a game, is the ability to outplay. And that's one of the reasons why, me personally, I'm not a Heroes of the Storm fan, because I feel like no matter how well I dominate my lane, I can't necessarily
You don't even
snowball
dominate a lane
myself.
because you just go fucking do shit. It's PvE game. It's half PvE, half PvP.
Yeah,
Heroes of the Storm.
I'm not a fan, like, because I don't have that ability to carry or outplay the people. Like, I can outplay, but to an extent, but it's shared EXP. Like, I mean,
You can't carry.
right? It's like, you can carry for the most part. What carries that game is like CC, but it's not like outplay CC. It's like whatever can disrupt the combination coming in.
You're just there at the right time and you do the right thing. That's all you do.
Boring to me. Yeah, it's pointless.
It's stupid. I don't like.
You just described every MOBA game, so I appreciate that.
I agree.
Man, you don't even
Everyone?
know. You don't even know.
Oh, I think MOBAs are very good for like the casual level of skill, but I like that Crowfall's going to bring like a whole new level of actual skill, and we're going to be able to utilize that, and that's why I'm so excited.
It's different, right? It definitely is different. So there's different strategies and skill levels in different games, right?
That.
In Crowfall, well, it is true to an extent, right?
Yeah, yes.
Having to aim and all that kind of stuff brings up, but like you can't count out the fact that there's strategic decisions in MOBAs that are very minute that lead each
on a second by second basis too.
Right, each small decision that's made and denial factor that you put into the game, it leads to a 45-minute big picture. So that's the difference between that and I think Crowfall. Obviously, Crowfall is going to be more. You're going to feel that reaction almost instantly. Is you had that ability to outplay at that time, and now you feel rewarded because of it. And that's where I think Crowfall is going to lie in the fact that we haven't had that in a while. I mean, I think voxels and non-tab targeting, friendly fire, animation physics, like I think this is where Crowfall differs from every other game.
Here's the big thing. League of Legends, Dota 2, any MOBA that's decent on a competitive level, you have an intense 20 to 40-minute match, and there's decisions to be made every single instant, so it's intense. FPSs are very similar because matches are very short. In games like I completely lost my train of thought. In games like MMOs, it's more drawn out. So you have bursts of intensity. And the reason you have to have much more of a macro point of view overall, because you have a lot of logistics. You don't really have logistics in MOBAs. So it's going to be a different type of talent. And unfortunately, it usually happens on the guild or organization level from one person and their core group of officers with 50 to 100 other people underneath them, whatever the guild cap is going to be, whatever that happens to be. So you have an organizational skill level that you really have to play against, which is, to me, it's unfortunate unless you actually play with one of those guilds, and then you can take advantage of it, whether you're a lower level dude or you're a higher level dude, whatever. So it kind of forces that type of thing.
Yes.
No comment on that one. There you go.
No. Well, Milt asked who's Lalonde. I'm trying to figure out where he's getting. Where did you come up with the name Lalonde?
Lalonde jumped into the lobby for a half second, and then jumped out. So he logged out to Gamebox for really quick and then logged out. MOBAs, I mean, here, James Goblin is talking about MOBA and casual and inspired soapbox rant for me. I think all games have casual levels and pro levels, no matter what. I mean, the MOBA, you can see it because League of Legends is the largest game out there on the internet right now, and you can see the difference between casual and pro player. And casual players love playing the game, pro players love playing the game, and there's that huge interaction. In MMOs, you really don't have it so much. I mean, you get a lot of casuals playing the game, but most of the casuals don't give a shit about the pros, that, you know, the higher level dudes that are killing mythic raid bosses or whatever. And I've never really seen that much larger of a crowd for any other MMO anyway, so it doesn't. Basically, any other game that's like hardcore PvP has such a small following that just plays the game. There's not enough people to make a differentiation between casuals and hardcore players, because they're probably all hardcore players to begin with. So it's very hard to differentiate that, I think. Can't hear you, Lakes, if you're talking to us.
They can hear me in Gamebox.
Yes.
It's this like admin thing.
I don't know.
I have to run Skype in admin mode for my push to talk to work is what it really is. So I have to have it activated at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, you're absolutely. For the most part, you have your casuals in every game. And we're gonna have casuals in Crowfall. But I mean, MOBAs are the way they are because it's easy to watch. That's where it's at, right? It's a business, is what MOBAs are all about.
That's what all the games
nowadays, right? It's a business multiple ways. One, because you're trying to create a game that many people want to play, that can feel rewarding over a short period of time and not really have a buy-in, so they're not having to put in those hours of MMO play to gear grind, and you still have the PvP aspect of the game. That's why a lot of they took the arena that the MMOs had and they put it into an actual, this game is only going to be an arena game, and now you have this arena, and it's the esports thing kind of picked up around it, and there is a competitive level of play, and there's significantly people that are always going to be better than others at whatever game might be. It's just the way it is. That's why there's a large ranking ladder within all the MOBAs, and you have your
RTSs or whatever.
Right, and all across the board. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It's a different kind of game. So I don't even
I want to hear from Keagan.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you. Why do you call it unless you're just baiting me, which, well done, sir. But I mean, like, why is it a casual competitive game, a MOBA?
Well, I did say that half snark, but I did actually have a point to it.
Go ahead.
It's to illustrate the difference. It's all about what tools are given by the designers that are given to the players. What can they accomplish? Mm-hmm. Now, just by adding that little zealot rush, elevates everything, because by taking it away, you're slowing the whole fight for the confessor down.
Sure.
By speeding that up, you are now changing the landscape, and that little tweak elevates it to another level. Now, granted, we're seeing this on such a small scale, right? Because it's a 2-minute little demo. But what I'm saying is, when you look at the MOBAs, I don't like MOBAs as the base, because they are a very slow pace, slow combat thing.
No, not at all.
They very are. They're low entry level, and their cap is a lot lower. It's not that you couldn't be competitive. It's the fact that you can reach that cap at a much lower level. It's like college football versus pros. Sure, playing the same game, but you're playing it at a slower level.
Whoa. Okay.
Hold on.
And so that's why when they add that little bit of speed and they do those little tweaks and have that little bit of burst. Now, granted, we're just seeing an intro part. Is that now is opening up and growing the potential of a higher skill ceiling, and that ceiling is what I'm excited about. The fact that it's raising.
I can see what you're saying, and I play both games, so I'm going to give you the honest opinion, is that mobile players think that casual, non-hardcore players play these MMO games like WoW Arenas and stuff, right? No one cares about those. And then these WoW Arena players think that they're the best things since sliced bread, or other, Darkfall and Shadowbane, all these like PvP players think that they're so much better than the high-end mobile players. Like, it's a back and forth that, in all honesty,
It's fanboy shit. That's
it really is. It's all fanboy shit, because there's a level of outplay and skill ceiling in both. Like I said, the difference is that you have to read into it. MOBAs are slower paced, but each minute skill that you make every minute, every denial that you're able to do in a MOBA leads to a 45-minute or 30-minute game on rotations and denying and taking away from people.
Well, I want to go against. Why do you think MOBAs are slower paced than MMOs? Is it only because MMOs have like 30 abilities that you have to cycle in a rotation? Is that what you're?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm talking about.
I'm trying to clarify what you mean by that, though.
I'm actually talking about just the competitive nature, or the person, not the game. Because if you're talking MMOs, in general speaking, they are not even close to what Crowfall's attempting. They are slow. They are that reduced speed.
Let's compare
so
what you saw from Crowfall to whatever MOBA that you're familiar with, combat-wise. Like, what makes? I mean, if you want to compare 1-to-1, I mean, there's plenty of characters.
I got something for you,
in MOBAs that are.
I got something for you, so I'll do it for him. First of all, imagine if now every one of your skills in League of Legends was always a skill shot. Mm-hmm. That adds a level of skill play that Crowfall's putting into it. So in order to be effective, you have to land your skill shot. So every one of your skills is a skill shot. That is something that
got
adds
the FPS element to it. Absolutely,
So there is a different style of playing, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a higher skill.
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement. I mean, there are different styles of play, for sure. I think they both have. Crowfall has the potential to be an equal level of skill variation between the two different levels of casual to hardcore.
Keagan, so now let's talk MMOs. Now we're going to compare the skill cap level of different MMOs. Do you feel like an MMO that has allows you to have more skills on your bar, so like let's just say 3 skill bars worth of skills, is more has a higher skill ceiling than maybe something that only gives you 8 skills.
No, I think that's just bloat. Because
I
Absolutely.
agree with you too.
I'm comparing the potential. Now, granted, this is a lot of projection. That I am hoping that, I guess not thematically, that it's closer to like TF2 in the sense that you can have 8 or you have 9 basic classes, but the level of skill that can keep increasing is so much greater that I don't care if you have 1,000 skills on your bar. Doesn't make you a better player. That just makes you better rotational bloat.
You know what makes, in my mind, so this is how I classify something as a higher skill ceiling, is what game requires you, if you're going to be the best, to have the most actions per minute, right? The game that makes you use the most actions per minute is something that has a high skill ceiling, because only so many people can do so many actions per minute.
True.
Whether
Yes,
it's in an MMO, MOBA, doesn't matter. It's a natural progression of how good someone is. Are you that physically able, you personally, to do as many actions per minute as me? And am I able to do as many as Dragon? Or, so to me, that is what defines a high skill ceiling, is what requires the person or the people playing the game, in order to be the best, to be able to do the right actions per minute. That is where your skill ceiling is, not necessarily the game platform.
Fair point right there, I think.
Yeah, as long as the win outcome is like an 80-20, and 80 is the player and 20 is the mechanics of the game and the restrictions, to me that is the more they allow that it comes to the player more than the mechanics. That's why that 50 skills is bloat. I think that's more game than player. If that is allowed, I think that's really, really shows the true potential of a skill ceiling.
And that's what me and Lakes have been saying since the beginning of the show. We want this game to give you each character has the mobility or defensive reactives, like the Knight's block, like blocking at the right exact time.
Oh yeah, totally.
And the Zealot rush mobility of this. I mean, like when you're talking about either League or any MOBA or Crowfall, I like to compare the two, because there's mobility metas, there's tank metas, there's all different type of things. You can compare easily to both, because each game, League of Legends has 130 something champs. Crowfall has 13 right now, but they're going, like we mentioned at the top of the show, they're going to increase that throughout the years. I don't know how fast, but they're going to throw them out there, and it's almost
that at all.
It's essentially the same. I love it because it keeps the game different. And yes, maybe it forces players to restart their characters and go all over again. But you know what? I like the always changing. Even if I'm not rolling it, I like the ability to say, like, I'm the good old knight. Maybe one of my buds is putting out the the new class. Maybe he synergizes with the knight so OP like that we're just going to roll face throughout the first part of the game because no one's ever seen it before. But we saw that interaction right away. I kind of dig that. That's
that aspect. That's good. I just don't like the idea that everything is based on just jumping in the new thing instead of actually learning the nuances of a skill type or an archetype.
Well, what's the problem with somebody else learning different classes and different archetypes? I mean, you can master a champ in League after a couple dozen playthroughs, and then really master over 1,000 playthroughs. So if you're playing, two campaigns worth of a champ, why not be able to jump onto something else? I mean, it doesn't take that much to be good. It takes a little bit longer to be a master, but it's still the same principle, though.
Yeah, there's truth to that, but there's also that's like 20 minutes versus 2 months, and so it's not a one-to-one correlation of that you can do that. You can't have 100 archetypes and say it's going to achieve the same when you can toss them aside every 20 minutes in League.
By the way, my favorite Asian in the world just joined chat in Harful. Welcome.
I will never ever give credit to WoW Arena players. So
I don't
whatever
even
I
talk
can
about
do,
them.
whatever
Why
I
are
can
you
do
bringing
to
them up again?
discredit that,
I don't know why he does.
Whatever I could do to discredit that, I will. Because more
Why
skills
are you bringing up Viking Nail
MMO,
and his shit from like 3 months ago? Come on, dude.
I'm throwing it out there.
You just
throwing it
you're
out
like,
there every time.
You got permanently mentally scarred from that conversation.
No.
Come on,
I didn't.
dude. No one cares about WoW Arena. No one brought it up other than you.
Right.
No
Well,
one gives a shit about that game.
Because every time, like, so you have your Shadowbane, your WoW Arena
He
guys.
lost 2 million
like,
subscribers in the last quarter. No one gives a shit about WoW.
No one gives a shit about any of those games anymore, bro. We're looking
No.
for Crowfall
Exactly.
and Camelot
Yep.
Unchained.
Come on.
Let's make this shit happen.
What was your point?
Nothing, bro. Move on.
Fuck.
Where's your favorite Asian?
Harful, man. He's the dude. He's one of the originals from online games. He just joined. I don't know why he's in our stream. I didn't even think he wanted to play this game. He's from the FOH days. He's on reroll now. He's a good dude.
Nice. So I guess that was my point, though, Dragon, was that no one cares about it. I don't care about which game has a higher skill ceiling. I hope that Crowfall has a high skill ceiling. And I hope that they just deliver on all their stuff. I don't care. I'm not going to compare it to any other games out there. Just everything that they plan on implementing within this game is automatically going to add to the ceiling of the play. And you're
that's all
absolutely
we
right.
could ask
With
for.
Zealot's Rush, it's going to be fantastic. I do feel like that skill is going to allow you to outplay people. And I mean, every skill or archetype's going to have that feeling, is what it seems like. Like the Knights jump into the air and the knockdown. I think that because it's that iframe. So I didn't get to talk about this a whole lot, but that split second where
the timing of it and everything.
The timing of it, to be able to use that to negate that damage because you're untargetable or you're not able to take damage during that period of time, is going to be one of those things that allow you to outplay somebody. And because it has that cooldown, like, you have to use it at the right time. So I do think that Crowfall is going to have that element where we're all going to be pretty impressed with the play.
I hope so. I mean, it's basically how crisp are the animations, how responsive are the abilities, do you actually feel the impact, and can you time everything? If they get that basic stuff down, which is incredibly hard to do, I mean, that's not many games get it right.
Well, they can't. They're having a hard time getting range down right now. So.
Well, that's a different thing. Like aiming and the speed of the projectiles, that's all tuning and stuff like that. But it's all about range. When I do my animation, I shoot out my fireball. Does it go out as soon as I press the button? Do I feel like I'm shooting, a fireball? Am I waiting too long for it to go out? Basically the only MMO out there that got animations, animation canceling, the whole feel for the game proper is basically World of Warcraft. A lot of MMOs fail at the whole animation and feel of combat and the fluidity of everything. So, looking at that video, I'm projecting a lot out there, but what was the name? Absolution. That looked crisp, and I'm like, if they can do that for all their abilities, I think we're in good shape for a good start.
I felt good about that too when I watched.
I felt like, yes, he burnt that motherfucker.
It felt rewarding when you seen that animation. Like, you're like, wow, it started from the feet and worked its way all the way up. Like, that's a rewarding animation.
You felt it.
Feel good casting it. Like, ooh, dude, that
I like
hurt.
it. Yes, because all PvPers, or even PvE players. I mean, like, anybody that plays a game, when they put out an ability and you just fucking like, that was awesome, I just did that. It feels good, and you want players, when you press those buttons, to feel good because you keep playing the game because you can do it again. So
Right.
I think we're going to call it now. We had actually a 40-minute after show. How about that?
That's too long, man.
That's
I've got to
way too
go
long.
play video
That's
games.
We
really
got to
long.
play some video games. So guys, again,
thanks for having me on, man.
thanks, Keagan.
Yeah, thanks for-
Keagan,
thanks,
remember, next time, jump in during the actual show. Shoot me a chat saying, I want to talk about this. We'll skip ahead to the show and talk to you, man. I think all the people calling in during the after show, I mean, it's great, but I think it makes a better show. Because we got a lot of comments about how everybody liked me and Lakes going back and forth about some forum topic or something like that. And people loved that. People said that was the best part of the show. So more callers that call in, the more interaction and yelling at each other and debate that we can have. So I mean, that always makes for a better show, I think. So
Sweet. I love arguing. Appreciate it.
No. That's talk radio. That's talk shows. It's arguing with each other back and forth and then having a beer at the end. So, all right, guys, we appreciate it. Next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Take care, guys.
See you guys.